Mm-mm. Hey, love bugs, it's Roslynn back at you again. I hope everybody is doing blessed. I'm doing blessed and highly favored, and definitely hope the same for you. And if this is your first time stopping by my channel, much love to you and welcome, y'all. I'm sorry, my energy is crazy. So if you keep seeing flashing lights, I ain't even trying to be Kanye West, but I'm just saying there's a lamp right back here. There's a ceiling fan right here. So I'm just telling you. So, anyways, I hope all of y'all are doing blessed and highly favored. I am. Namaste. Love and blessings, love and light, and many blessings are definitely coming your way. And if you have been watching my videos for a while and have not already, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell at the bottom so you know when your girl's about to upload her next video. Also, if you're comfortable enough, drop me a line or two. I would love the chance to get to know you as much as you're getting to know me, even if it's about the positive feedback to the content of my video, or you're just up telling me about your empathic gift, how it impacted your life and heading you towards a positive direction. And if you feel like the videos are informative to you, give you good vibes, inspiration that you would love to share with a loved one, family, or a friend, or even a fellow empath that are going through trying times at the moment, and just needing spiritual guidance or confirmation or validation towards life path or even soul purposes, please go ahead and share. And while you're at it, give girl a thumbs up, like, and also share on your social media favorites wherever you see fit. Thank you once again for the love and support, and I hope that you're able to, you know, video resonate with the video. Um, the music that I'm listening to today, y'all, I'm still getting used to this microphone, so if it's loud, turn it down a little bit. I apologize. Um, but I am listening to this peaceful music in the background. It's called is by Tribal Spirit Tribal Awakening. I think that, yeah, Spirit Tribe Awakening. That's what it is. And the video that I'm listening to is music for positive energy healing, 528 hertz, music for meditation, miracle healing frequency, and Zen. And I will post their link to their channel on the description box below. Y'all hold a prayer up for the John Travolta's family. His wife passed away today, Kelly Preston. She passed away for breast cancer. She lost her fight with breast cancer. So, yeah, just leave her family uh, some prayers. I'm so tired of hearing about cancer. I hate cancer. I wish they'll find some kind of cure for it. I lost my adopted mom to that, plus many other things. Siron, the Siren goes in retrograde today. I put this post up today on my community page on YouTube. Some people probably don't know about that. So I'm going ahead and saying it says retrograde in Aries. Today, bringing up past entanglements, reopening wounds. It wants us to hold ourselves accountable. Admit that we have problems and insecurity. Siren, I hope I'm pronouncing that way right, wants us to know that transforming wounds into wisdom really closes the loop of pain. And that's almost close to the content of my video today. It's like Twin Flame 101. Heyokas becoming more aware of our reality, so we don't need to fall apart for our lives don't need to fall apart to get our attention. You know what triggers you. You know what works your last nerve. Y'all, my energy is like straight hype right now. It's like I don't know what I'm doing, because it's like when I do this it's not that. Well, I guess it may be. I don't know. But there's things that is going on in your life where you know what triggers you, you know what motivates you, you know what pisses you off, you know what makes you want to shut down. These wounds are coming up for a reason. I'm looking at all the things that I'm going through, and I used to just cop an attitude about it, or get my feelings, or just start getting very emotional. I was like that yesterday, but it was like I'm glad that I was able to talk to a good friend of mine, because it was like, being able to talk to somebody and being able to release it without judgment, it's a blessing. We don't get too many people like that can really, resonate with the pain that we carry. Being able to have that person you can listen to and just not pass judgment on them. It was like going through the things that I've gone through has not been easy. Being open to my experiences about what I went through has not been easy. When you get to know me and there's things that comes out, you know, um, it pushes me out my comfort zone, because it's just like with the things that I go through, and then finding out, my biological family was. It was a beautiful situation, but when I was happy just to know, it brought me to so much reality of who I really was, who my family was, who my friends were, you know, and that wasn't something that was, very comfortable to deal with. Opening up and telling somebody that you are related to somebody in the public eye and has passed, it wasn't easy. I had to deal with people, mocking me, family that I'm related to, discrediting me. All those different things weren't, you know, um, good to deal with. But you always have a choice on how you can respond to things like that. This has brought me to my blessing of a purpose to me, being able to share my experience on my life about who my father was, what happened to me just because of those things, and how I'm able to deal with it. That shows strength. I've been vulnerable. People know you've been with me for a while. You've seen me get emotional. I was looking back at some of my videos I did right after my father had passed, knowing that my family was behind those things and stuff like that really put me in a very volatile situation. I would never want to put anybody in. I would never want to wish that on anybody. But I knew there were certain things that I had to allow myself to take accountability for. Being able to understand, and just, there's times I sat here, even with people that I can really trust, about the things that I've gone through, because it was a hurtful situation, because people didn't know what I went through, and they were like, "Oh, you can talk to me," and stuff like that about my situation. And then when they found out who I was related to, all of a sudden people went mute, went and straight ignored me, all those different things. And it felt like I was in a world by myself. And then it was just like, in God's graces, I was able to hold on to some very dear friends of mine that, I can really trust, and to that point where I can be vulnerable with, and still, have them as, being somebody I can trust. So it is just like, when you have gone through things in life, it can be a hard burden to bear. You would not wish that on anybody. The things that you have struggled with. There's things that you probably still struggle with that you don't let the world know about. You cry behind closed doors. You'll tell people, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And then when you're saying that, you feel like you're dying inside. These wounds are coming up. I have no closure on my situation. I get angry when I hear that, there are certain people that can relate to, what my father has gone through, losing a family member to opiates. You're dealing with pain from surgeries and, accidents that has left you wounded, like chronically, you know, wounded, to where you can't deal. I've got into a car accident back when I was like 26, 27, 2005. I'm trying to remember. Shoot, I'm like 43 now. But it was in 2005. I got hit by a drunk driver, died for like probably about 5 or 10 minutes, and then came right back. I died praying, and after that, I was crushed all on my left side. I was supposed to have, my back was messed up to where there's bones in the lower part of my back, that where the tissue supposed to separate from the back, your spinal disc or whatever they want to call them. There's no tissue there. So they rubbed together. My hip, both of my hips were like badly damaged, where I was supposed to have hip surgery. Someone was telling me not to do that. And I didn't know why. My dad had hip surgery, both of our hips exactly in the same spots. His is mine is the left is really bad. And then I still have some damage, nerve damage on the right, and his is the exact same thing. He did his from jumping off of stuff, and every time I look at different things that he's performed, I was like, ugh, I wish you stopped jumping off of stuff. Because what we do when we're young, you know how your parents always tell you, hey, you're going to be feeling that when you get old. I'm like, nah, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, doing this and this and that. And then next, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Anytime that, the weather changes or whatever, there are certain times I sit in this bed and I'm almost in tears because I can't lay flat on my back like that for too long, because when I get back up, you start hearing everything popping. Sometimes my hip pops out of place and I have to go to a door frame and slam it back in and cry. So there's a lot of times that, going through those different things, I became heavily addicted to opiates, Percocet, Dilaudid, Demerol. They used to get Demerol shots and stuff like that. It was just to the point I would take so much medication that I would get more medication just because it was like I was getting sick a lot. I couldn't keep anything down, so they put me on Finnegan, all those different things, perk 10s, somas and BACs. Some people probably, just listening to like, God dog, I know the things you're talking about. Was it Oxycontins? All these different things. So when I moved down to the South, I had to stop cold turkey. And that was the biggest blessing for me, because it's like when I lived in the Midwest, it was so easy to get medicine like that. It didn't matter for nothing. I had to sit up here and quit cold turkey, throwing up, couldn't sleep at night, frigid, daggone their attitude like crazy, like really fiending. And I died a couple of times and came back. I got a tattoo on my stomach, and my kids saw me die. They had to bring me back, and that was like that time I said I would never put my kids in that situation again, because they saw me die. They had to bring me back, pour cold water on me and start slapping me in my face. And I felt myself dying, because it was like everything started becoming numb and it got really peaceful. Like you were like swimming in a swimming pool and you're just diving down, and that's what it felt like. So it was just like all those different things that has taken place in my life. I have no problem with letting people know, because it's not who I was. I used to be that way. I'm no longer like that. I don't take anything. Now, if I take anything, it's like, what is it? Over-the-counter pain reliever, 500 milligrams, or acetaminophen. That's all I take, other than my vitamins in the daytime. So, I for you to be able to know you have a problem, you have to admit you have a problem. Because it was like, I knew I was watching something today. It was a video. I think it's the rapper August Alsina. He didn't feel like he was an addict because I guess he had fell off. He was really drunk and wasn't sleeping when he was going on tour, and he fell off the stage and got really, really badly injured. So they, with him being on the road, they gave him a lot of medication. And it got to that point where, he was on Red Table Talk. He wouldn't even admit how many pills he would take during the day. And he felt like, he had family members that was like addicted to drugs and stuff like that. And he felt like when you're addicted, you'll start selling stuff in your house, start planning things. He felt like that was addiction. But when you start hiding them in different spots, that was addiction. If you can't make it throughout the day, it was like, oh, something's getting on my nerves. I got to pop up and take this, all those different things. But he got clean. It took Jada Pinkett to help him get clean. Seeing her upset, like, what is it going to take? Because she had to deal with that when it came to her mom. So it's like losing a parent to that and not knowing who is responsible. I mean, it puts me in rage. Puts me in a really bad rage, because I know I could have been just like my dad. If I wouldn't have left Missouri from where I was, it was like I would have probably been dead, because there's so many of my friends that, when I call back home, it's like they're not living anymore. They died of overdose. I lost a lot of my friends that way. And just being able to hold myself accountable is like I use those different things as escape. After, I was smoking weed for a long time, when I first moved down here, because I was dealing with abuse from my adopted family, my mom's ex-husband and his wife and his family, just constantly everything being thrown in my face about things. And I'm like, you asked me to move down here just to break me down. And then, after everything with my dad, everything started coming out of the chain of events on what the truth was, And going through that, I mean, there's times I sat here and cried. Like, a parent is supposed, when you're supposed to adopt somebody, you know, a parent is supposed to protect you. You don't allow somebody to come in after that, and then you marry them, and then you dog your daughter out, or your you know, your son out, anything like that, over financial comfortability. You know, if that ain't a word, it's gonna be one today. You know, so looking all through these things, it took me a long time not to hate them. It took me a long time to not want to be plotting people's death. You know, and I get enraged because I shouldn't have had to find out. I shouldn't have had to find out uh, about the truth about my dad after he's died. You know, that was something that I really went crazy over. So it's like, when I looked at the videos that I had back when I first started, I was very emaciated. It took me a lot not to sit up here and constantly cry on videos, you know, because this was something that, you know, I was, you know, guided to do. You know, open up and tell your story about the things that you have endured just because of whose child you were. You know, anything that emulated my dad, I got the mess beat out of me like I was a guy. You know, anytime I played the piano, I got my hand slammed, you know, well, almost slammed in the, you know, in the piano doors, just because of all the things I went through. And so with everything coming back, you know, when you're an empath, there's some part of your life that is like, you have absolutely, you know, absolute amnesia. There's some kind of way, either you had a head injury, or you have went through so much trauma, you suppress so much stuff. Because, you know, as a child, when so many different things is taking place in your life that has really messed you up to the core, a lot of children automatically, they suppress things, just suppress. And you go back and ask them like 5-10 years later, I don't know, but they know it's just certain things. You know, I used to have to go to therapy when all this stuff started happening. I started having dreams about my dad, knowing the truth, and it would trigger me. I would have night terrors to where I would be screaming and hollering in a corner and peeing on myself, you know, as 4 or 5 years old. And then it happened again at 12 and 13. So I had to go under hypnosis. And anytime somebody was like, oh, have you ever been hypnotized? All of a sudden I start snapping. And I didn't know why. I'm like, oh, don't be trying to, you know, it would be certain things that I would hear and I would walk away because I didn't want to hear that and didn't know the reason why. So all these different things was coming back, you know. End up wearing, it was crazy because I ended up going to see the movie Get Out with a couple of friends when it came out. When that woman started stirring that coffee with that spoon. Anybody ever seen that movie, talking about the sinking place? It was like, when I went through therapy, I remember my dreams. I would constantly be falling, and I was just see my dad and his wife, my mom's ex-husband and his wife and her 2 children laughing at me as I sunk, and I never knew why. These fools don't sit up here and listen to the therapist showing techniques about how they put me up under hypnosis, and they violated my mind doing that. And so when we went to go see Get Out, when she clicked that daggone spoon when drinking that tea or coffee, all memories started coming back. Almost freaked out in the movie theater. I went home, and you talking about chain smoke weed all night and just saying they did this to me. I know they did not do this to me. I was about to go over there and do some stuff, but I was just like, it took me a long time to say death is too good for people like that, because it's done. When they're gone, they're gone. They still got hell to look forward to. But then it took me to a place that universe showed me you had to endure this. You had to be set as an example. There's a lot of people, you know, that goes to prison over something they didn't do, which I did. And you were used as an example. You know, all these different things that's taking place in my life that I never know it was going to have a big purpose for me now, because I felt like God didn't love me. I thought God abandoned me. He became mute and blind to the abuse that I went through. And then finding out who my dad was, and I said, you know, I really had a very dark spot for the folks upstairs, you know, but now it is like it became more of a blessing than a curse that it was, because I'm like, you knew who my dad was, and you allowed these people to violate me in those kind of ways. And now I had to find this out, because I was always mad at my mom, and my mom was the one who wanted me to know. And he made sure that my mom would never do that. He violated my mom in the worst kind of way. So it was like everybody that knew the truth, they were happy because they passed away. after my dad, way before my dad had passed. So to make sure I would never know. And going through all those things, I would always blame them because I smoked weed. I will always blame the things that I went through by taking pills, drinks, all those different things. And now it's just like I'm at a place in my life where I can become peaceful. Yes, they did those things, but I can admit to my flaws. I can't sit up here and constantly be putting my finger and pointing at everything that a person has done to me. Yes, these people can do things to you, but it's your choice on how you choose to deal with those burdens that those people has placed on you. You can either use that as a positive example and say, I'm not going to allow them people to make me like them, because obviously when they pass these things down to you, they were still hurting and wounded from what was placed on them. So they feel like anybody that was entitled to something was going to be broken just like them. So it was like with my situation, my adoptive father was very, very emotionally and mentally abused by his father. My aunt, his other brother, they all were heavy drinkers. My aunt done passed over, and I haven't seen that woman in like 5 years. And when she died, she died like a couple of days, on the same day as Kobe Bryant. And then when I found out, I detached from that family so bad, and which I really love my aunt, I never grieved. Now I grieved over Kobe and his situation, but I couldn't even grieve over my aunt. And I felt bad for that. And then it was like I had to let myself know I detached myself away from that family that wasn't family to me. And with her passed over, and she was like, I wondered why I never seen you again. I always wondered, asked my brother where you were, and he would come up with a lame ass lie, and I knew he was lying. And now I know what he did, and he got away with that. She was like, oh, he ain't gonna get away with that. He was like, no. So all those different things just came along. And just being able to be open and honest about that. Like I always tell people, don't be shameful for what you have gone through. Don't ever be shameful of what has happened in your past. If somebody wants to bring that up, obviously they're still stuck there. Especially if you're not that person. It's just like, yeah, I used to dance. Yeah, I shoplifted, just to go ahead and take stuff back just so I can make sure my kids have something. They had to pay bills. I was struggling. And what made it so bad, with my dad being a public figure, he had me a trust fund. I never received it. My family, well, my mom's ex-husband and their family lived lavishly off of my trust fund while I lived in poverty. Still do, And that was something that was very hard for me to accept. But it's just the fact is I was guided to do this. Be open about the things that I've gone through. Even though when people turn a blind eye to it, where they know the truth. My mom had a dying declaration to a couple of people that she knew she trusted, saying if she didn't get home to meet her family, please make sure, because she knew she was dying. She was like, please make sure my daughter meets her family. She really needs to do that. Her dad's trying to keep her away. They made sure I didn't do that. When they knew, they tried to act like I can't get involved. I don't want my name out there. I'm like, what would you do if somebody did this to you? But they came deaf and dumb to it until they needed a handout for something. They wanted to bribe me just to help me. And I was like, I'd rather do this on my own. That was like a nightmare. I felt I could never wake up from. But it was either my choice to be stuck in that hole and feel sorry for myself, or allow myself to say, you know what? Be open about it, because they always told me if you ever become famous, you wouldn't want to tell anybody the things you went through. And it was like you shouldn't do things that that may be reflected on how people perceived you. And I had to learn, I don't give a damn about what people saw. It was just the fact that you didn't want yourself to come out looking bad because of what you have done for me to have to live that way. And now it's just like, shoot, I didn't care. I said, like, I danced. I done had bounce checks. I done sit up here and been on Section 8. I done, got kicked out of Section 8, for family, and got a couple of cars, repoed. I'm like, I don't care. Those are past issues. Those are the things I had to learn from. When you can be honest about it and not worry about what the next person thinks, that's the most freedom that you can ever have in your life, because not everybody is going to be for you. Not everybody's going to have your best interests at heart, but it's how you perceive yourself, how you go about your strength. When you can allow yourself, that's when you know you're stepping up. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, not allow what person is going to find out. Because the first thing I did when I started doing my videos, I feared that they would find out what I was doing and it would try to hurt me. Hell, they are already trying to hurt me. I wouldn't really care, because I say, hey, at least I got some evidence. If I come up missing, they already know who did it. So all those different things, I already know I'm protected up under God's blood, up under the universe. I already got my spiritual reinforcements. I don't have to worry about that. I'm doing what I'm required to do. Tell my story, tell my experiences of the things that I went through, so other people can look at what they've been through. You become responsible for what you have done. Don't take responsibility on how somebody treated you. They had a choice just the same as you have a choice. You can allow yourself to sit in your sorrow and feel bad for yourself about everything that happens, or you use that same stuff they put on you and you give it all you got to be the best person you can ever possibly be. When you have haters all around you and stuff like that, the best revenge is to keep going. Be happy, have a smile on your face, because they're already wounded. They when they feel like you're not worthy of love, is because those people felt like they weren't worthy of love. Because when my mom went through some brutal stuff growing up, but she tried to give me the best love she can. But her ex-husband turned me against her, just like he did that with my children when my dad's truth came out. Turned everybody against me, and that was fine. Even though all the truth was in his face, he still want to say, I don't know what you're talking about, But it was like when my father, my daddy, my biological daddy, did anything he possibly could to be in my life, wrote songs about us, different connections that we had. He tried to get that out towards me to make sure I knew he cared about me, because the way it came to me, my family it was a closed adoption. My mom was like, no, it's not. Even doctors, the hospital told me it wasn't closed adoption, just in case if I wanted to find them. People know. Even people that my dad's connected with, they know. They're trying to make sure I don't come out. All these different things I have to deal with. And I feel like when God feels like it's right time, there's no matter who says what, they can't stop that, because I'm living my truth. I'm being honest about the things I have going on. It's not something for show or something to try to get a quick buck. This is something I went through. No matter what people had to say, this was something I had to deal with. So when you allow yourself to really see what it's going to take for you to get to that next level, you want change in your life, you have to become change. You have to be able to be fixated and focused on what you're trying to bring out into your manifestation. You manifesting something. You can't allow yourself to stay focused on what somebody's done to you, or what somebody's trying to block you from, or what they're trying to steal from you. I had all that done to me, and I'm still going. I'm still going to be me. People talk bad about me. I don't care. It's how about I feel about myself. When my truth came out, people started, oh, you really that daughter? You really this? What? I mean, side by side. Come on now. I had to really go through all those different things. I can't even be openly happy because of the things people already perceiving or get uncomfortable or want to give a side eye to. I mean, I can't worry about that no more. I can't, because this is what brought me where I am now. And there are so many blessings of how many people I've helped because of those situations I've been with. So when you see the things that's going in your life, trust and believe there's a purpose behind everything you have endured in your life. Don't allow yourself to take that for granted, for you to still be here to overcome what has taken place in your life, because that will be your ammunition to make sure you tell people about what you've been through, so they can be able to readjust their life and see how, if that she did it or he did that and he able to overcome this and he was able to have peace in his life and not going through those battle wounds of wars from fighting the demons, that you holding on to something that you are already part ways with these people. Don't allow them folks to take the power of your happiness, the power of your joy, the power of your peace. I did that. It took me a long time to say I didn't want to kill my mom's ex-husband and his wife because they stood up here and stole what was belonging to me, what I've earned, what, my dad tried to make sure me and my children were okay. I had to allow myself to make peace with that. And I actually can sit up here and say, if they were to come in front of my face today, I forgive you, because I'm not going to allow you to take my joy from me. I know different people that are connected to that, because, your enemy of your enemy is a friend of theirs. Anybody who's an enemy of an enemy, oh, trust and believe, they all over there plotting. So you allow yourself to focus on you. Focus on your come up. Focus on your glow up. Focus on your blessings. Focus on your manifestations. Don't allow yourself to be distracted about what's going on over there. Because it's like right now, I remember I came to a post today. Karma is a patient MFer. She is. Because as soon as she feel like she done had enough of seeing you act stupid and causing other people issues while they're trying to do something good for their life, she got one-on-one. The vengeance is mine. And that's how she was saying it, and come right at it full force. And while they're getting theirs, you're going to be getting yours too. Seen another one today. You're going to be placed in a situation where they see you, but they can't touch you. And that's exactly where I'm at. I didn't want to do that video the other day, but I knew there was assistance on reason why I had to do that. When you get put in certain situations, they'll show you who is not going to, publicly praise you. The ones that be, those are the ones you need to cut out your life, or the ones that somebody's telling a little hearsay to, and good and well that ain't the truth. Those are the ones you need to sit up here and cut out your life, because you already know they ain't going to, you can't trust them. So you allow yourself to live for you. Don't live behind, your fears. Don't live behind your anger. Don't live behind your confusion. Don't live behind your sadness. You know what you're trying to get to. You work hard to keep on achieving that. If you ain't got it yet, don't mean it's not going to come. So you keep allowing yourself to do what you need to do so you can get where you need to get. So I will see y'all on my next video. I hope y'all stay blessed. I'm going to go ahead and say a post notification shout out to Divine Timing. Much love to you, Val Stover. Baby Stag, much love to you. So welcome to the fam. Ian Nargoski, much love to you, as well as Claire McGee. And I will see y'all on my next video. Much love to you. Peace. And be wild. It's already, I don't want to keep dragging it on, so I didn't even say my outro. See y'all in my next video. Much love to you. Peace.